welcome to You Can't Make This Shit Up. Joel Hawksley, David Washington, we're your political innovators and we're your hosts of You Can't Make This Shit Up, a J in Washington production. Speaking of production, we would like to thank our producer, John D. Maria. You know, I always do that. John D. Maria. There we go. Too much sauce there. Our producer, Seventh Legion Multimedia. Right. I, I tried to pronounce the gentleman's name in the last podcast, who was the topic of that particular podcast, and like I'm sure I blew that. And thank you, thank you. So well, go ahead.
What is it the mayor doing right now? This is incredible. So I wake up to an article saying that Maxwell's like Scott Maxwell from the Orlando Sentinel's going out of his freaking mind.
Yes.
When you spend money in certain ways, he's been crazy. So the mayor of Orange County, Jody Demings, put the Orange County Convention Center at the top of the taxpayer list. He wants to put the 4 major projects, including the Amway Center, UCF Football Stadium, Phillips Performing Arts, and the Camping World Stadium, because these TDT taxes, these
tourism
taxes, need to be spent in tourism industry. And Maxwell's biggest thing was he was screaming that we continue to support only low-paying jobs by doing this.
Right.
So, but the question is, are the dollars into a convention center that isn't filled, that hasn't been, it's always losing money. So we're putting more money into making it bigger, better, and emptier.
Right. I think that Scott Maxwell is what is it? Probably one of the few people who are left with so much passion about this particular issue, because knowing what we know about the TDT and the process and the players involved, this will never change. The taxes that are reaped from the income, the revenue reaped from the tourism district, by law, go towards improvements in the tourism district on I Drive, in areas that bring in tourists. And so I get it. Here we go. I get it. And some of our allies in the community feel very passionate about using the TDT funds for other projects that were more in line with community development and improvement. However, the law is the structure of the TDT. The purpose of the TDT is to enhance the tourism district, including the convention center.
Because the fact is, it sounds really good to say we could be doing infrastructure with this money. We could be doing, all these different things, but it's not designed that way. Because when they designed it, they wanted to make sure that I'm a hotel, I'm charging my guests more money for tax. That tax money goes into the facilities or the attractions that bring more people so we can make more tax.
Right.
And then he goes, well, wouldn't you want to pave the roads that go to these places? Wouldn't you like to have different infrastructure built? And I'm like, okay, well, we've gone down that road. We've asked if it can be. We've tried to go to change several times with different people. And because it's not changed, Scott's still passionate about it's got to go there. And so is Emily, and so is
Wilson. Yes. Commissioners Wilson, District 1, Orange County, and Commissioner Bonilla, District 5, Orange County. Here's a novel idea. Instead of the allies who are fighting for using those particular tax dollars for infrastructure, et cetera, why not add an additional layer on top of the TDT, another taxing body on top of the TDT for half a penny, a quarter of a penny to fund those infrastructure projects, those humanitarian projects. Um, the tourism district is going to draw.
Here's the thing. They're not going to do it because it will give them no reason to get money. I'm serious. Why would you
No,
try to?
no,
Why
you're,
would you try to do something smart
you know, something.
when you complain about the fact that this is a dumb system? And it can be a dumb system after a certain amount of time.
And that applies to a lot of stuff. What you just said applies to a lot of the thinking from the federal level down on down and back up.
You had to spend money that you didn't want to spend because it was the end of a fiscal year.
It was, well, yeah, it was an engagement ring.
No, my goodness. I
Not
know.
not a past engagement ring, not the future
I
one.
understand. I'm saying
Just kidding.
in government, when I was in the army, I had to spend
Mhm,
an enormous amount of money that we didn't spend because things had changed. We didn't have a certain training exercise that we
mhm.
usually had every year, but it got uh, nixed because we had to be somewhere else. So that money didn't get spent. Do you know how hard, and this is a lot of people are going to say that's not true. You know how hard it is to spend money down to the very last nickel
Oh, it's not
when
easy.
it's a large sum like that and it
It's not
has
easy.
certain restrictions?
Right.
I mean, okay, it can only go to billeting, it can only go here, it can only go here. It's for training. Okay, well, training, we didn't have the training, so now what am I going to do?
Hmm.
Okay, you can buy some equipment that would have gone for the.
Right.
It's a nightmare, and we spend it because if we don't get it the next year,
Mhm.
and that's just insane.
Yeah. Yep. I think, but again, a solution would to be add a another layer on top of the tax tourism district tax, a very nominal increase that would apply to infrastructure, affordable housing, so forth and so on. If someone could take that idea and to the charter review, or to the Orange County Board, I think it's a novel idea. Let's see what the lawyers say. Another thing is, that maybe Mayor Demings is pushing this, particularly for the convention center. We were talking about this because once he's done and with his Orange County career, with his great service to Orange County, maybe they'll put his name on the convention center, the Jerry Jerry L. Demings, right? Is his middle name L?
Yeah,
Something like that, or the Jerry Demings,
no, it's just going to be the
convention center.
Demings Convention Center.
There you go.
That way, it takes care of both of them.
But yeah, there you go, two for one. But check this out. Also in front of the commission, or will be in front of the Orange County Board of Commissioners and the voters probably in 2024, is the idea of creating two additional county districts in Orange County, increasing the districts from 6 to 8. And so, why not? Because there's a little pushback in regards to creating two additional districts when it's needed. It's obviously needed. And one of the pushbacks is that there's not enough room in the current county administration building. Well, Mayor Demings has always looked at iDrive, where the convention center is on, as the driving force, the engine to Orange County, Central Florida, um, life, the economy. Why not move Orange County administration into the Demings Convention Center, the Orange County Convention Center? There's tons of space, ton of parking,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
if they
right there
did,
in the center
but if
of.
they did that, then that might make it uneligible for TDT taxes.
Well, I mean, there's got to be some type of administration
I understand. I'm just
in
not.
the convention center, and it's multi-use. and they'll still have their conventions. They'll still have, whatever.
Fill the
Con-
office space that's not being filled.
right.
And I agree. There's a lot of things you can do, but we don't think that way. Government is never run like a business. It
It shouldn't
doesn't it
be.
doesn't it
It
doesn't
shouldn't be.
make money. So
Right. It shouldn't be.
um it just spends money.
There are concepts of business that government should incorporate into its best practices to make it more efficient and make it better. However, at the end of the day, government is not
But see, this is
business.
where what I'm getting at is because it's not run like a business, they don't hold accountable the people that should be running it as a business because it's still the convention center still should be making money. It's still we put leadership in there that should be filling it to capacity. We put leadership in there and we put money into or visit Orlando. We put money in there so that the profit could be generated by that. It's not a government, you know, building for it's supposed to be run. That one's supposed to be run to make a profit.
However, is there really a need for so much convention space, millions of square footage, when you have so many different hotels that offer conference or convention space, and it's convenient because you have a hotel there. I know that the convention center is kind of attached to a hotel, but when is too much? Too much? When is
Well, see, it's not too much if you decide to have, if the Democrats really want Florida and they decided to have their convention in Orlando, which would generate tons of excitement and tons of, it would fill it. It would fill it, right? So, Republicans, hey, let's have our convention here. That's the thing. If we in 2024, wherever it's supposed to be, let's make a change like we did with North Carolina to Jacksonville to none at all. Right? But no, we have the capacity. We should be hosting major events like that. We should be courting the Republican Party. We should be courting the Democrat Party because those party dollars come into our state, they get spent in our state, they help so much, and that revenue helps the higher paying jobs because we bring in so many people. They have to pay an equivalent amount to the traffic they're getting. If these hotels are empty, these jobs are low paying.
However, Joe, we do know that going having your convention in a particular city, in a particular convention center or a hotel, there's some politics involved in that. When Florida becomes relevant again on the on the national level, particularly for the Democrats, perhaps Florida would be seen as, or Orlando would be seen as a location, for the Democrats to do their thing. Now, the Republicans have been consistent over the years in having, as far as I understand, the last decade, having their conventions and events here in Central Florida, whether it's the summit at the Gaylord at the end of
Well,
this month,
that's our
in
local, but
November.
that's our local party.
No, no,
That's
this is
the
this is
summit.
a summit,
The summit is done by
Florida.
the Florida GOP.
Okay, okay,
So, but what we do in our party is we try to look at where we're losing ground.
right.
We were losing ground in North Carolina,
So they
so we had the convention looking toward North Carolina, bring the revenue in, get the spotlight on us. That way, that's why I said the Democrats, if they were looking for a place to have a convention,
right.
we have the space, we have the facility, and you've
However,
lost the
but
state,
Florida, yeah,
and you've lost the
Florida,
state. So
Democrats are 600,000, has a 600,000 voter deficit,
yeah, I got to stop helping the
to
Democrats try to
Republicans.
think.
So I mean, ad dollars, marketing dollars for 2024, they're not coming here. At one point, it was at 300 million. In the last big election cycle, now it's going to be a tenth of that. Florida, for the most part, has been written off by the
Well, we were
media
written up, but listen, we
spinners
were written, we were
and
written off,
campaigns.
we were written off by the fact that, the NAACP,
Yeah, they're not coming.
they're not coming
They're
anymore.
boycotting.
They boycotting.
Democrats allies are
Unless we get
boycotting.
unless we get a new governor sometime because he becomes
Another
president.
decade.
But yeah, you have a lot of boycotting going on. So
Right. So there's, I mean, we need our we need our allies to come. We need to be relevant again. The liberals and the Democrats.
But David, here's let's get out of that area and just talk about why is it that everybody, if we had the right people doing the right thing, it wouldn't be, hey, let's have the Super Bowl in Miami. Hey, let's have this in Miami. Let's have this in Miami.
No,
Right?
you
No,
think
I'm
they
saying
can handle Orlando can handle a
I'm
Super
not
Bowl?
talking about the Super Bowl. I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
about why is it always the first place they go is Miami,
Oh,
right?
Miami's special.
Traffic is a nightmare. You
Uh,
can't do anything in Miami and have a good time.
But Miami's special.
Oh,
Oh man,
but I'm saying if we were, Orlando is
exotic.
special. Listen, Orlando is special because we have a very nice temperature. We have great people. We have the best hospitality,
And now the best food.
and we always have the best food. Have you ever gone someplace that's like? I mean, it's so good that these things last for about 6 months and move on. That's because of the expenses.
It's so true. Like, wasn't there a such and such right here about 6 months ago?
Yeah, well,
That's true.
especially
That's
if they're downtown, because Buddy Dyer, And remember that election's 33 days away. If you want Buddy to continue on running your alcohol and tobacco and your
Vaping.
vaping and your favorite places and your metal detectors for downtown, you know, keep it up. Here you go. The
Al-
police state, Orlando.
Allegedly, there's a plan to make downtown residential. So we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
with all that empty office space because everybody works from home now.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see the brand new hotel? I mean, the brand new condo is already accepting leases and stuff like that, or whatever they do. That's the one that on Orange,
Okay.
the thing they've been building forever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Roslyn.
yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
I
Now
saw it. Yeah,
they're leasing.
yeah, 2024 it should be open. So
Oh,
I'm like, really? That's what it is.
in
I
the
didn't even
next
know it. See, I didn't know what it was.
I think in the next 10 years we're going to see a transformation of downtown into mostly residential. I see no. I mean, businesses are dying down there.
The cities are. Why would you live in a city if you didn't work in a city?
It's fun. I love this city.
I found
Life
it.
is vibrant. The diversity, the the
I,
the life.
when I was in
Vibrant.
Chicago, when I was in Chicago,
Sunrail.
I would spend 2 to 3 weeks in that condominium, and I wanted to save money, so I wanted to go to a grocery store. You know how long it took me to find the first grocery store, and not realizing that it was underneath that was underneath the building. I found the one that was not underneath the building, and somebody says, "Why are you shopping over here when you could have gotten it over here?" And I was like, "I didn't see anything over there."
Discovery.
It's like, okay, the underground.
I still think that the convention center will make for a incredibly awesome place to have county administration move into. If I drive, the tourist district is the driving force of the Central Florida Orange County economy. Why not have the center of government there too?
Well, let's bring that question up to our guests that we have coming up. We are going to be having interesting conversations with our commissioners, and
Yes.
we thank those commissioners that have already committed.
Yes.
You can't make this shit up, guys. We have one of the largest convention centers, if not the largest,
Yeah.
and it goes vacant, and we're spending more money there. Whether you agree or disagree doesn't matter. It's got the TDT taxes or TDT taxes. So let's TTD taxes.
Where are the Republicans? The Republicans are having their convention next year in Milwaukee, right?
I believe so.
And the Democrats? Do we know?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Can you look up?
I don't really look at the the conventions because they're like 4 years out. So like I remember watching the one we were going to have in Pennsylvania.
Chi-town.
You're in Chicago this time.
All right. I kind of thought so.
Nice. Last time you guys were in Chicago, oops. Let's
No, not back in the 60s. No, we were there in the 80s,
Okay.
porching off everyone into the media zone or like no protest zone or something. They were like a mile and a half away from the convention center, able to protest.
You can't make this shit up because if you go to a convention, listen, there's nothing like it. You know, you have trouble getting places because you end up being where the protesters are and you're behind a fence and you go, I didn't think this is the quickest route. No, this was not the quickest route.
It may be a fun time to be in Chicago and Milwaukee, you know?
Listen, all we need to do is get our audience bigger than C-SPAN and
there we go.
Because have you ever listen? I am a big C-SPAN watcher. Okay, and let me tell you, it's funny to sit there and watch these people that call in.
Oh, I love
Please,
it.
I would love to have a show where we had to call in.
Call in, yeah.
Because I would be the one person that goes, really?
Got a call.
Are you truly sane? Do you really believe what you're saying?
Right.
But the people are so good on C-SPAN because they go, cutting them off of a question that's not really a question, it's a statement.
Exactly.
Well, can you cover that? Yes, I can cover that. That's we put facilities and this and this, and then you're like, okay, I don't get how this is about a book.
Mercy.
Thank you very much for watching. You can't make this shit up. The convention center explodes. Jerry Demings is putting the money into his convention, as David says, his convention center. Like, share,
comment. We want to hear your comments.